Yitro, ideas in the realm of Gematria from the Parsha for the Geulah, which means for the redemption. Geulah means redemption in Hebrew. This is Article 17 because the Parsha of Yitro, or Yitro, is the 17th Torah portion. This week's Torah portion, Yitro, or Yitro, depending on your pronunciation, this week's Torah portion of Yitro, which means, this week is the Torah portion of Yitro, which means, of course, that last week's Torah portion was Beshalach. On the Hebrew calendar, these two Torah portions are the only two Parshas that the holiday of Tu B'Shvat, which we celebrated this past Monday, can come out on. There are amazing connections to both of these Parshas, but since this year it came out in the Parsha of Yitro, the connection will point to Torah itself, which we read about the giving of the Torah in this Parsha. There is one connection between Tu B'Shvat and the Parsha of Yitro that is almost too obvious and does not even need the assistance of entering the realm of Gematria for it. In Yitro, we read about the creator of the universe giving the Torah, the law, to the children of Israel. Torah is referred to as the tree of life. In the famous song and proverb, it says, Eitz chaim hi lemachazikim ba v'tomcheha meushar. It is a tree of life for those who grasp it, and those who draw near it are fortunate. Proverbs 3:18. On Tu B'Shvat, we celebrate the trees because it is the new year for trees. So, the connection is clear. The month of Shvat is a winter month. The days are still dark earlier, and we celebrate the trees now as opposed to the springtime when it might seem more appropriate, because we celebrate the faith that we have in its potential. We have a positive vision of the future for all of the wonderful fruit that these trees will produce someday after the winter has passed. In Gematria, Tu B'Shvat has a numerical value of 328. The word choshech, which is the Hebrew word for darkness, indeed, also has a numerical value of exactly 328. And this demonstrates two things. One, that we celebrate the trees while still in the darkness of winter, and we have good faith and high hopes in the potential of the tree for the springtime. Two, the fact that this special day of the trees comes to us in the Parsha of the giving of the Torah alludes to the ultimate light in a dark world, the Torah itself. As the proverb famously says, Ki ner mitzvah v'Torah or, for the commandment is a candle and the Torah a light. Proverbs 6:23. There is a special Gematria cipher called Avgad. This means that Aleph has the value of Bet and Gimel has the value of Daled, and Dalet is Hey, etc. It's basically 1 over. So when you're looking at an Aleph, you're looking at a Bet. So in this Avgad Gematria cipher, the name of our Parsha, the name Yitro, translates in Avgad to it's not a word, but it's the letters that make up a word chashaz. That's not a Hebrew word at all, but it's basically Yud. In the Avgad, you do Yud becomes Kaf, Taf becomes Aleph, and then Resh becomes Shin, and then Resh becomes Shin, and Vav becomes Zion. You're basically moving it 1 over. You also have the reverse of Avgad, which I call Dagba, which Daled becomes Gimel. I'm getting sidetracked. I'm sorry. I'll come to that later. But anyway, in Avgad, Yitro equals chashaz. which equals exactly 328. So Yitro equals 328 in Avgad. And generally, the part Tu B'Shvat, which equals 328, comes out in Parsha Yitro. And I know I mentioned two Parshas B'Shalach, but when I looked at the calendar, it's actually probably a majority, slightly more to the Yitro side. So it's very interesting that Yitro in Avgad equals Tu B'Shvat, exactly, at 328. Have a great Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom. Have a great Shabbos.